I passed a sign today that said, God is still working on you. That message sat with me all day today because I'm going through a tough situation and a tough decision that I'll have to make soon. And that was a reminder that when something is happening to us, it's actually working on us too. And that reminds me of David in the Bible. When I'm going through these seasons, I often think about how David encouraged himself in the Lord, is what the Bible says. He reminded himself of the things that God had already done for him. And I think about how all the tough things that David went through, all the battles, the hard situations, just everything he went through, he didn't wait for somebody to come and tell him that everything was going to be okay. The Bible says he encouraged himself in the Lord, basically saying, if God did it before, he'll do it again. And that's the mindset that we have to have. But I know sometimes we feel overwhelmed and we feel stuck, but remind yourself that God has already done all of the things that he's done for you, all the hard things that we've gotten through. God has already got us through those things. That's something I have to often remind myself. And I know it doesn't always feel good and it's uncomfortable. That's how I feel right now. But when I remind myself that there's nothing that happens that God doesn't allow, that gives me more peace about the situation. And it also it makes me think about how these things build something in us. It builds perseverance and resilience and trust, and our faith are built in these seasons. So that message today, when I passed it, it was a powerful reminder that God is still working on me and God is still working on you too. So keep encouraging yourself, reminding yourself of the things that God has already brought you through. And, one promise that I stand on during this time is that God said he'll use all things together. He'll work all things together for your good because you love him and you're called according to his purpose. And so that's something I stand on when I'm in prayer. I remind God of his word. I remind him as his daughter, as his baby. He says, you will work all things together. So, God, I'm uncomfortable. This doesn't feel good. Can you just give me some comfort and some peace about the situation? And often God always shows up in some kind of way. So, if God did it before, he'll do it again. And, you're not alone in this situation. I'm right here going through something very tough as well. And may this be another testimony for me and for you of God's faithfulness in Jesus' name.